After completing my 10th class exams in 1979, my father suggested that I go and help my father's uncle and learns astrology. Mathematics being my favorite subject, I learned the calculations. My grandfather taught me how to calculate the inclinations of each planet and how to calculate the lagna and the meridian center MC, and he gave me some birth charts to draw. Thus, I learned how to draw the birth charts first and showed interest in predictions. So, my grandfather told me some predictions, some of the tips that he usually uses for predictions. And after learning those tips, I documented some of them. I verified with my father. While my father and my grandfather have laid the foundation for me to get interested in astrology, for almost a decade or 2 decades, I didn't show any interest.
Welcome to Shastri Karra's astrological series. For the year 2019, I have divided into two parts. The first part is starting from January 2019, 1st January 2019, all the way till April 23rd of April 2019. So during these 4 months of period, what you can see is that on the very first day of January, Sun is in Sagittarius, Mercury is in Sagittarius, and Saturn is in Sagittarius. That means the year is starting with Sun and Saturn residing in the same house and almost like 1 degree difference. You can ignore the 1 degree difference. That means with the same inclination. And we know that Sun and Saturn are bitter enemies, so and they both are residing in the same inclination in Sagittarius. So this is a very important day for those who in their natal chart who have the planet whose Vimsottari Mahadasa is currently running. For example, in my chart, on this the current Vimsottari Dasa is Saturn Mahadasa running in my chart. So, and Saturn and Sun, they both are co-joined on 1st January, indicating that Sun is the 12th house lord and Saturn is the 5th and 6th house lord for me. So this indicates that there is some sort of a negative impact pertaining to the 12th house because of Saturn, the 6th house lord. So 6th house deals with debts, illnesses and employment conditions, and the 12th house deals with hospitalization and unexpected expenditures. That's how you have to look at it. And then the next important day is 5th January and 6th January. These 2 days in the year 2019, these 2 days after 1st January, the next 2 important days in the month of January is 5th and 6th, because on that day Sun, Moon, Mercury and Saturn, all of them are going to reside in the same house. 1, 2, 3, 4 planets are 4 transit planets are going to stay in Sagittarius. So as I said earlier, when you have Sun and Saturn in the same house, you have an issue. And now Moon deals with either mother or mind, basically. So something pertaining to mother or mind is what will happen for a native whose Vimsottari Mahadasa is Saturn. And in my chart, which I'm going to tell more in detail in the second part of this presentation, Sun is the 12th house lord, Moon is the 11th house lord, Mercury is the 1st house lord, and Saturn is the 5th and 6th house lords. So all these are residing, and Sagittarius is the 8th house from natal moon. That means in Ashtama Shani. Currently I am going through Ashtama Shani with Saturn Mahadasa running, and on 5th and 6th of January you can see all of these Sun, Moon, Mercury are going to stay in the 8th house from natal moon. That means these 3 planets, Sun, Moon and Mercury, are going to co-join with the Ashtama Shani on those 2 days. The next important days in the during the first part of the 2019 is March 29th and March 30th. The reason why I said only those 2 days is because on 29th March, actually, you know what, it goes all the way from 29th March till 22nd April. All the way up to that point we can go. The reason is on 29th March, transit Jupiter is in 29 degrees in Scorpio. That means transit Jupiter is going to be in Rashi Sandhi, and from there onwards, when it is in transit Jupiter is in Rashi Sandhi, it is co-joining with transit Saturn in Sagittarius, very close by. And then the very next day, 30th March till all the way till 22nd April, transit Jupiter is in forward motion in Sagittarius at 0 degrees, co-joining with transit Saturn. And remember, transit Jupiter is still in Rashi Sandhi during all these days. So, and on 23rd of April, transit Jupiter will retrograde. So that's the reason why you see from 0 degrees Sagittarius it is 29 degrees 51 minutes, 0 degrees 1 minute to 29 degrees 59 minutes. So between 22nd April and 23rd April, transit Jupiter will be stand still for a few hours, and that's the period which is very powerful. Transit Jupiter will be very powerful between 22nd April and 23rd April. So for those whose Mahadasa is Jupiter running and Jupiter is a beneficial, for those people there is a major change that happens or the event initiates on 22nd or 23rd of April. Now let's go to the second part of the year. That means from April till August there are no major things to think about, because from April till August transit Jupiter is still in retrograde motion, and somewhere on September 1st September transit Jupiter will move from retrograde to forward motion. So again, the same way that transit Jupiter is stationary on 22nd or between 22nd and 23rd of April, the same way between 30th August and 1st September, transit Jupiter will again be stationary, because it has to go from retrograde motion to forward motion. Before changing the direction, it has to come to a station, it has to be stationary and then change the direction. So that's the reason why you see that change is going to have a major impact for people whose Mahadasa is Jupiter. The next important things that I want to tell here is starting November 4th, or I will take it as 5th November. Actually 4th, from starting to 3rd November all the way till 31st December, what you see is the transit Jupiter is in Rashi Sandhi in Scorpio, and from there on 5th November it enters Sagittarius at 0 degrees, still in Rashi Sandhi, but it has co-joined now with transit Saturn. Remember earlier it did exactly the same thing for a few months and then went in retrograde motion, went to Scorpio, and then changed its direction on September 1st, and from Scorpio by November 5th, from Scorpio it moved to Sagittarius. This is where it got co-joined with Saturn. So the most important thing here we have to see is that whenever Jupiter and Saturn co-joins in any house, forget about in any house, one thing is sure to happen is whatever the house that Aries or Mesha resembles, that house will be in trouble. That means, for example, in my native chart with Virgo as the Lagna or ascendant, Mesha will be the 8th house, Aries will be the 8th house. So whenever transit Jupiter and transit Saturn has co-joined in the year 2019, the 8th house gets spoiled, which in my chart. So that's something that we have to keep in mind. What is the 8th house lord is Mars. So what houses does he own. So this is just at the high level you can tell, and then you have to go on a case by case study to figure it out what exactly might happen. Let me go and reiterate the important days in the whole year 2019, with that has an important planetary combination and will have an impact on the NATO based upon the NATO's natal chart and the planets and the Mahadasa that is running for that particular NATO. Here we'll start at 15th March till 8th May. Transit Jupiter residing in Scorpio will be in Rashi Sandhi. So those who have the Jupiter as their Mahadasa, Vimshottari Mahadasa, and Jupiter have owning some of the important houses or residing in some of the important houses will have an impact. The impact will be in positive if Jupiter is benefic and having the benefic planet aspects or co-joining, and will be negative if the Jupiter natal Jupiter is a malefic or co-joined with malefic planets in the natal chart. And the same way is on 29th March all the way till 22nd April, both Jupiter and Saturn, transit Jupiter and transit Saturn, are co-joined in Sagittarius. That's a very important period. That 23 days is very important for a number of people, especially for people like me, because Sagittarius is my 8th house from natal moon. Transit Saturn residing in 8th house from natal moon is Ashtama Shani, which I am going through, and I have the Saturn Mahadasa running, and now transit Jupiter is co-joining with transit Saturn in the 8th house. And for my chart, Jupiter is the 4th and 7th house lord. Okay, and the next one is from 22nd April till 1st September. Transit Jupiter who will begin its retrograde motion and slowly goes to Scorpio and stays in Scorpio. And then again 22nd April to 23rd April, that is just one day, transit Jupiter will be in stationary mode. So that's a very important day for a number of people, and that includes me. And then again on 23rd May and 24th May, transit Saturn will be in stationary mode, because that's the date. On 24th May, transit Saturn will start its retrograde motion. So before going on retrograde, it will be stationary. So this is a powerful day. Transit Saturn being static, and that's the very powerful time. So that is 23rd to 24th May. The next one is from 8th May till 23rd June. Transit Saturn will have a direct aspect on transit Mars. So depending upon the role of Mars, you will have the impact. From 17th June till 16th July, transit Saturn will have a direct aspect on transit Sun. As I said earlier, depends on what the role of Sun is in your natal chart. On 1st September through 2nd September, transit Jupiter will be in stationary mode, because on 1st September until 1st September Jupiter was in retrograde motion, and on 1st September it becomes stationary and then starts in forward motion. So that's very important day. Again 5th October to 6th October, transit Jupiter Saturn will be in stationary mode. Remember I told you that transit Saturn will start its retrograde motion somewhere in 24th or 25th of May, and it will be in retrograde motion all the way till 4th October. On 5th or 6th of October, during that 24 hours period, transit Saturn will be in stationary mode, and after 6th October it will approximately after 6th October it will start moving in the forward direction. Again from now 11th November all the way till the end of year, transit Jupiter and transit Saturn are co-joined in Sagittarius. That's a very, just like you had it from 22nd April till just like you had it from 29th March till 22nd April, the same impact you will have something similar again almost 6 months later. And then the most important thing here is from 7th March all the way till the end of year, transit Rahu and transit Saturn are having a direct aspect. That's a very important thing, particularly for those whose Mahadasa is Saturn like mine, or those whose Mahadasa is Rahu. And depending upon the house that Saturn owns, and depending upon the position where Rahu is residing, the impact will be visible clearly. As I said earlier, transit Saturn and transit Jupiter are going to, or will be co-joined in Sagittarius 2 times in the year 2019. This is the first time, that is on March 29th March all the way till 22nd April. So here is the graph that it shows you that how close they are. So if you can look at it, the distance between these two tells you that there is almost approximately 25 to 26 degrees difference. That means, this is very important too, that means with the Jupiter in 0 degrees Sagittarius, it is in Rashi Sandhi. Saturn with 26 degrees in Sagittarius, it is getting close to Rashi Sandhi, because you can see here the difference between 270 and 260 is just 10. It's a little bit. 270 to 260 degree is not even 260. So it's only 4 degrees, 26, 20. So transit Saturn is going to be, is entering Rashi Sandhi, and here transit Jupiter is already in Rashi Sandhi. So transit Jupiter being in Rashi Sandhi indicates that whatever the impact that is going to have will not be stable. It might either give the impact based upon the house for the Scorpio, or based on the house owned by Sagittarius, or in between those two. I can understand that this particular data that I'm showing in the spreadsheet or in the tabular form is not clear, so let me try to explain to you. This is Sagittarius is a very, very important zodiac sign in the year 2019 for every native. For every native, Sagittarius is very important, and that's what I'm trying to emphasize here. The most important dates are from 5th November till 31st November 2019. You can see here from 5th November till 31st November 2019, Jupiter and Saturn, they both are going to reside in Sagittarius. And while both of them are residing in Sagittarius, what I was trying to do is, what are the other planets, fast moving planets, that are going to co-join with these two major slow moving planets. While Jupiter and Saturn are co-joined, the first and the foremost thing what you see is between 23rd November and 11th December. 23rd November and 11th December, transit Venus is going to co-join with transit Jupiter and transit Saturn. That's the first thing. And again, the second one is Moon. Transit Moon is going to on 27th and 28th of November, transit Moon is going to co-join with transit Venus, transit Saturn and transit Jupiter. The third thing is transit Sun co-joins transit Saturn and transit Jupiter between 17th December and 31st December. That's the very important point we have to keep in mind, is particularly whenever transit Sun co-joins with transit Saturn in any house, that's good. That particular house will be dynamic. And then the fourth important combination is transit Moon co-joins Sun, Mercury, Saturn and Jupiter on 26th and 27th of December. Oh my great. So if you look at it, Moon co-joins Venus, Saturn and Jupiter on 27th and 28th. And again, Moon co-joins Sun, Mercury, Saturn and Jupiter on 26th and 27th. That means Moon is going to co-join with Sun and Mercury on 26th and 27th of December. Yeah. And the last one is Sun, Mercury co-joins Saturn between 26th December and 31st December. Yeah, this is what I was trying to explain. So if you look at it, from starting 25th December 2019 all the way till the end of year, that 7 days or 10 days is very, very crucial for every person for whom Sagittarius is an important house. Like when I say important house, I mean to say that if it is a first house, then it will be self. If it is the second house, then it will be Kutumbasthanamu and Dhanasthanamu. The third house is siblings. Fourth house is Matrusthanamu or home life environment. Fifth house is Pitrusthanamu or children. Sixth house is Rogasthanamu. Seventh house is Kalatrasthanamu. Eighth house is Mrityusthanamu. Ninth house is Bhagyasthanamu. So all these, if Sagittarius is one of these, then it's the days that I am showing here, starting November 5th all the way till December 31st, something the other event is going to happen for every native, and the only thing that differs is that event a positive or a negative. It depends upon not only the natal planets but also the Vimsottari Dasa, Mahadasa and Antaradasa and Pratyantara Dasa during this period, and which you have to look at it on a case by case basis. Thank you for watching this presentation. This is the generic presentation about the Sidereal Ephemeris for the year 2019, the important planetary combinations and the possible impact is what I tried to explain in this presentation. This is the first part of it. In the second part, I'm going to pick 2 or 3 examples and predict how the day 2019 will be. Thank you very much.